saw was in the chat here. Ronald says, when is the last time Miami had a good running back?
Can we stop with this argument?
No, hold on a second. I'm finishing this. Hold on a second.
Right here.
But now let's take a look at some of the winners over here. Chase Edmonds is the first one. Johnny, you and I got into a bit of a spirited discussion before the show around Chase Edmonds. You really like this as a winner type of outcome. I'm not sure if I'm buying any of the Miami backfield, but you're feeling really good about Mike McDaniel and the Kyle Shanahan tree that he comes from and the way that they use running backs and the expected role you foresee for Chase Edmonds. Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much entirely it, right? Like you look at what they paid. I mean, you look at what they paid him, right? They paid him $12.6 million for 2 years. So that indicates to me that you're not going to, which by the way, James Conner got paid like $6.5 million a year. So it's roughly the same amount of money. And like, we all know what the production was like last year.
How much did Kenny Golladay get paid last year?
Right, but again, it's not equating that you're going to make plays, right? But did they not use Kenny G? Did they not try to get him involved? They did, and so like the same thing is going. The same thing is going. They had Daniel Jones was terrible at targeting any wide.
Talking about snap percentage.
Like, what do you? Anyway, Kenny G was battling injuries the whole season, and then when he could play, he was in there. Like I trying to equate Kenny G to Chase Edmonds' value is completely.
No, I'm just talking about the point of suggesting production and salary are connected.
There is a correlation. There is more of a correlation with what they plan on doing with a person based on how much they pay him versus if they pay him pennies and expecting not that much. Like there is definitely research.
He'll get the shot. He'll get the first shot you'd expect. And that's what they want him to be. But if in training camp he gets outdone by someone else, they're not going to keep him over somebody who's outperforming him, are they?
Here's the thing: is Chase Edmonds probably not even going to be number one on that depth chart. That's why I think he's a winner. Because the thing is Raheem Mostert is coming from. He also came over. He got signed, and the reason why it's so important, and the reason why I'm like so gung ho that Chase Edmonds is actually a value, and I agree, is because. Look at the coaching system and the staff and what's going to be implemented, baby. It's going to be that Kyle Shanahan run zone scheme, baby, that we all love for fantasy football. But here's the thing. It's not always the number, or in most cases, it's not the number one guy that you go for. It's not the, Raheem Mostert, because he's probably going to get injured.
Not the Trey Sermon.
And it's not not the Trey Sermon. But what it ended up, and this is where I did kind of joke about the whole thing, is that in honesty, we might look back at the end of the year and it's probably going to be Gaskin that ends up being the best value of all of them because that system just bangs up running backs. They get injured, and then it usually ends up being that third running back that ends up actually being the value. And so when I'm looking at the whole thing right now, Chase Edmonds is a value to me. I do think he will be good in that system because it's a zone run scheme system, a one cut, one read kind of thing. And he can do that. He's fast. He also has good hands and can catch out of the backfield. So you pair all that, compare, and with the other pieces on this offense, it's going to be hard to stop Chase because you're going to be worried about Tyreek, about Waddle, about Gesicki. So I do think it's going to be a productive running scheme.
What about you, Travi?
I think there's a couple things going on, and what we saw was in the chat here. Ronald says, when is the last time Miami had a good running back?
Can we stop with this argument?
No, hold on a second. I'm finishing this. Hold on a second. Okay. And then he comes in and actually lists them all, right? He says Jay Ajayi, Lamar Miller, Frank Gore, Gaskin, Lindsey. So kudos to you, Ronald. But then Barber says all busts. Ronald agrees and says, yeah, Miami kills talent. Excuse me. Lamar Miller was an RB6 and an RB9 in fantasy in Miami. And RB1 was Jay Ajayi in Miami.
Not just a guy.
Yeah, they were actually very usable. They did go on elsewhere and have good teams. As if any of that matters, though, guys, because guess what? We're talking about a completely different Miami Dolphins team with a completely different head coach. And as Johnny alluded to, yes, we love the Shanahan tree, but it's not like we just love Kyle Shanahan's zone running scheme. His dad revolutionized running in the NFL. This is not just anybody's shake a leg at a coaching tree, and it's not just any position that we like in fantasy. This is really, really big minds on fantasy. And Kyle Shanahan trusted Mike McDaniel so much that this kid who looks like Rodrigo Blankenship is now the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And now you could come in and say, but yeah, Miami Dolphins, where they're allegedly paying off coaches to lose. Okay, sure. You could get me on the decision-making process. But I've listened to Mike McDaniel's talk, and I know what Kyle Shanahan puts on the field running-wise. And if there's anything I trust in this offense, it's probably the running game, even over a Tyreek Hill's production, even over a Jalen Waddle's production, because I can trust the running scheme. I mean, look at it all. LaFleur, Sean McVay, we have seen massive years from the running. We've seen massive, yeah, exactly. Gary Kubiak, great point. We have seen massive running back years from this kind of scheme and from this particular tree. So throw your Miami. It's not like we're talking about the Lions here, where they really have killed running backs over the years. We're talking about a new scheme here. That was just a shot for Johnny. But we are talking about a new scheme, and I'm actually really excited about the youth movement in Miami, about bringing this guy in. And if you want to say Raheem Mostert and Myles Gaskin and these guys are just too many bodies out there, well, then you're looking at the wrong bodies to be in the way of Chase Edmonds here. Chase Edmonds is, to me, clearly the most talented back and the best, well, maybe the best health history of the backs that are there. So I'm really excited. I think Chase Edmonds is a winner, and I think the Raheem Mostert signing actually will do better for his ADP than anything. Austin, sorry to cut you off there.
No. I'm right there with you, and I just want to throw in the point on Chase Edmonds' workload. We were on last year saying that he might get hurt. He's undersized. He's being used in a way he's never been used before. And what did he do? He got hurt, and James Conner was there. That is new information, though, that can be held. I think McDaniel will. I think he's already looking to deploy a platoon of running backs. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't the biggest Chase Edmonds supporter last year. I watched this dude play football just from the eye test. This guy is so shifty. This guy actually is a problem when he's out there. Like, I talk about value over replacement all the time. In terms of his ability to be nimble and quick, like, good luck replacing Chase Edmonds in terms of that category.
Miami's going to be good, dude. I don't do this every year with Miami or teams like this. I usually stay off of that, when I'm smelling. But Miami should be really good. They have so many good skill position players. If you're looking for a new kid or a new young coach to get in and get it going, this is the perfect setup. And I don't think it's bad to invest in this team across the board. But I think the running game is one to not shy away from. We've heard it now on 4 different topics, right? Where, Ronald, Mr. Miyagi are like, oh, I'm going to stay away from this backfield. Like, don't be scared. If you're scared, go to church. Like, we're here to get a running back from one of these teams and have him explode and be your league winner. Let's try and figure out which one that is.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. There you go. Exactly. We're all about the Lord's Day today, man.
Yeah. Right here.
Oh, hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified anytime we drop new content or go live. And if you're still not sold, go ahead and check out one of these videos.